Hello everyone, I hope that you all are fit and fine, and let me tell you that I am completely fine as well. In the previous video, we would have discussed about the three types of persons, and that is individual, firm and also HUF. Now we will continue with the person definition, and first and foremost let us discuss the definition of company. So what is company? Company is defined under 2 clause 17 of the Income Tax Act 1961, okay, and it is not the normal definition of company that you know. It is a much bigger definition, okay. First and foremost, a company includes Indian company under section 2 clause 26. So company definition includes Indian company. Now what is an Indian company? Indian company is defined in section 2 clause 26, okay, of the Income Tax Act 1961. Now what is Indian company? Let us see. Indian company is a company that is registered under Companies Act 1956 or Companies Act 2013. And this plus means what? Plus means and. So wherever I have used plus in my notes, you understand it as and, okay. And it has registered office in India. So a company which is registered under the Companies Act, it can be 1956 Act or 2013 Act, and it has a registered office in India. It is called Indian company. It is called Indian company. So first and foremost, a company includes Indian company. So all the Indian companies are included in the definition of company under the Income Tax Act. Okay. Next, what else can be a company as per income tax law? Let us see. Next is body corporate under any law. Body corporate means what? It is also a company type of an organization. However, it might be recognized under any other law. For example, under US laws, okay, if a company is incorporated, then that also will be considered as company in the Income Tax Act 1961. So, for example, Facebook incorporation. So, Facebook is a company, correct? It is registered under US laws. It is not a company as per the Companies Act 1956 or 2013, but still Facebook will be considered as a company under the Income Tax Act 1961. Fine. So Facebook incorporation is an example. So in the under any law, if a body corporate is registered, then that body corporate will be considered as a company under income tax law. Okay. Body corporate means what? A separate entity is formed, okay, and it is a corporate type of an organization. Next, assessed as company under the Income Tax Act 1922 before 1/4/1970. So as I told you earlier, before 1/4/1961 also there was a company Income Tax Act. That Income Tax Act was Income Tax Act 1922. Hence, under that Income Tax Act also, if any organization was recognized as a company, then that organization will be considered as a company in the Income Tax Act 1961 also. Fine. But if it was on or before 1/4/1970, if it was before 1/4/1970, not on or before 1/4/1970. So before 1/4/1970, if an organization was recognized as a company in the old income tax law, what is the old income tax law? Income Tax Act 1922. Then that organization will be considered as a company now also. That is in the new income tax law. Fine. Next, whether incorporated or not, whether Indian or not, if a organization is declared by CBDT, that is the Central Board of Direct Taxes, as a company for the respective assessment years, then for those assessment years it will be considered as a company. Okay, so if CBDT comes and notifies that this organization will be considered as a company for this year and the next year, then for the both the years it will be considered as a company under the income tax law. Okay, so if CBDT declares an organization as a company, it will become a company. Fine. Next, one more thing I forgot to tell. In Indian company definition, no, first and foremost, Indian company includes what? Any company registered under 1956 Act or 2013 Act. Okay, and also it should have a registered office in India. Now there are some more organizations also which are included in the definition of Indian company. What are those? Number one, Indian company includes the organization declared by CBDT as an Indian company. Okay, so I told you, when CBDT declares a company, as a company, when CBDT declares an organization as a company, it will be considered a company as per income tax law. If CBDT tells that this will be considered as Indian company, then it will be called a Indian company as per the income tax law. And moreover, if there is any company which is incorporated by the central government, state government, union territory under their respective laws, then also it will be considered as a company under income tax law. So for example, the states usually incorporate financial corporations, correct? Or one more example can be State Road Transport Corporation. For example, Tamil Nadu State Road Transport Corporation or Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation. These corporations are not registered under the Companies Act 1956 or 2013. However, they will be considered as a company under the Income Tax Act. Okay. And what company? Indian company. Fine. Be very careful. There are very minute details, and company definition can be a little confusing, but you have, if you learn it thoroughly and conceptually, you will be very clear with the concept. Okay. After completing, I will give you a summary also, so you will be even more thorough and crystal clear. Okay, don't worry. Now, so company includes four types of organization. Number one, Indian company. Number two, body corporate under any other law. Number three, assessed as a company under Income Tax Act 1922. Okay, before 1/4/1970, and any organization, whether Indian or not, whether incorporated or not, if it is declared by CBDT as a company, then it will be considered as a company for the assessment years for which CBDT declares them as a company. Okay, so there are four types of organization included in company. So first one is what? Indian company. Now what is Indian company? Indian company is number one, a company registered under the Companies Act 1956 or 2013, and it should have a registered office in India. Then some other organizations are also considered as Indian company. What are those organizations? Number one, if any organization is declared by CBDT as an Indian company, then it will be considered an Indian company. Number two, any organization incorporated under the government laws, that is the central government, state government or union territory. Under their laws, if any organization is incorporated, then also it will be considered as Indian company. For example, Financial Corporation or State Road Transport Corporation. Okay. So now we know what are all included in the definition of company. What are all included in the definition of company. Now we will know what are the classes of companies. What are the classes of companies? So there are two classes of companies, domestic company and foreign company. Domestic company and foreign company. Now, what is foreign company? Let us learn first because it is very easy. The foreign company is defined under section 2 clause 23A of the Income Tax Act, and foreign company means not a domestic company. Any company which is not a domestic company will be called foreign company. By seeing these words itself, you should know that if there are two definitions, then they are mutually exclusive definitions. What do you mean by mutually exclusive? See here, foreign company, a definition is given. Okay, it means it is not a domestic company. So this is foreign company definition. Let's say this is domestic company definition. Okay, foreign company, domestic company. Since it is specifically mentioned in the foreign company definition that a domestic company is not a foreign company, hence always and always foreign company and domestic company will be separate. They will never meet. The definitions will not meet together. It means there cannot be any organization which is both a foreign company as well as domestic company. This is called the concept of mutually exclusive definitions. Mutually exclusive. This is not in your syllabus. For your knowledge sake, I am telling you. So what is the meaning of mutually exclusive definitions? Mutually exclusive definition means there are two definitions which are totally separate from each other. One person cannot fall in both the definitions together. Okay, so this is an example of mutually exclusive definitions that we are seeing. So what is the definition of foreign company? Any company which is not a domestic company will be called a foreign company. Fine. Now, what is domestic company? Let us see. Domestic company is defined under 2 clause 22A of the Income Tax Act, and domestic company includes two type of organizations. Number one, Indian company. Indian company means what? We already saw everything. So Indian company is always a domestic company. Okay. However, domestic company can also include any other type of company. What are they? Company that has made arrangement to declare and pay dividend in India out of the income taxable in India. So if there is any other company other than an Indian company and it has decided that it will declare and pay dividend in India out of the income that is earned from India or income taxable in India, then it will be called a domestic company. Okay, so whatever income is taxable in India, that income will be distributed as a dividend in India only. In such case, that type of company will be called a domestic company. Okay, now let me summarize this once again. Be very crystal clear, because in the next chapter you are even going to be more confused, because now we know what is domestic and foreign. In the next chapter we are going to know what is a resident company and non-resident company. Okay, so you should not get confused between domestic company, Indian company, foreign company, resident company, non-resident company. That is why you should be crystal clear with the definitions. Okay, so number one, what is a company? Company is defined under 2 clause 17, and company includes four types of organization. Number one, Indian company. Indian company. Number two, body corporate under any other law. Number three, any organization which is assessed as a company under the old Income Tax Act before 1/4/1970. Number 4, whether incorporated or not, whether Indian or not, if an organization is declared by CBDT as a company, then it will be considered as a company under the income tax law for the respective assessment years. Okay, then now we should know what are the two classes of companies. The two classes of companies are domestic company and foreign company. What is a foreign company? Foreign company is a company which is not a domestic company. Okay, then what is a domestic company? Domestic company means number one, Indian company, or any company which has made an arrangement to declare and pay the dividend in India out of the income taxable in India. So there are two types of company which are included in the domestic company definition. What are they? Number one, Indian company, and number two, a company which has made arrangement to declare and pay dividend in India out of the income taxable in India. I am repeating this again and again because it's very important. Okay. Now, what is an Indian company? What is an Indian company? Indian company is a company that is registered under the Companies Act 1956 or 2013, and it must have a registered office in India. Okay, and Indian company also includes any organization that is declared as an Indian company by CBDT. Okay, and also any organization that is registered under the respective laws of the central government, state government, or union territory. For example, financial corporation or state road transport corporation. Okay, I hope you are clear with the company definition. You also see this a couple more times so you will get more clarity on the definition. So under the Companies Act, the definition is a little smaller, but however under the Income Tax Act, it is a wider definition. So many other types of organizations also will be included in the definition of company. You get my point? Next type of person that we are going to learn is association of person and body of individual, forms that we already studied. Now we are going to see what is AOP BOI. First and foremost, let me tell you that there is an explanation to section 2 clause 31. Now what is explanation? What is explanation? I already told you. Explanation means clarification. Explanation means clarification. Okay, so here you go to the previous chapter where we learnt about explanation. There you go and write link basic concepts or link AOP BOI. So now in AOP BOI definition, I am giving you an explanation, okay, or an example of an explanation. Fine. In AOP and BOI definition, that is under section 2 clause 31, okay, an explanation is given. What is the explanation? AOP and BOI are considered as a person even if they are not formed for earning any income. Even if they are not formed for earning any income. We will see the next point also. I will explain all of them together. Firms are not included in the meaning of AOP and BOI. Now, AOP and BOI means what? Association of persons and body of individuals. By the name itself, you would know that if more than one type of persons or people are coming together and forming a group, that group can be called AOP or BOI. That is association of person or body of individuals. Now, you would say that a partnership firm is also a group of people, correct? Answer is yes. Partnership firm is also a group of people. That is why if a group of people or a group of persons is included in the definition of partnership firm or limited liability partnership, then it will not be considered as AOP or BOI. It will not be considered as AOP or BOI. Okay. Hence, if a group of persons is included in the definition of partnership firm, then it will be considered as a firm. However, if a group of persons is not included in the definition of partnership firms, it can be called AOP or BOI. Now let us come to the explanation. Explanation tells that it does not matter whether the group of persons is coming together to earn income or not. Okay, no matter if they are coming to earn income or not coming together to earn income, they will be considered AOP or BOI. Okay, so it is not necessary to think that only if they have come together to earn income, they should be considered as a person. If not, they will not be considered as person. Like that, you should not think. Okay, hence AOP and BOI are considered as a person even if they are not formed for earning any income. Fine. Now let us know what is AOP, what is BOI. Okay, so with the name itself, you can find out the first difference between both of them. AOP means association of persons. Persons means what? We already saw. A person can be individual, can be a HUF, it can be a partnership firm, okay, it can be a company. So many other types are also there. So if more if other than individual also, if any person are coming together, more than one persons are coming together, then it will be called association of person. Hence it is a group of persons. Okay, so for example, A limited plus ABC LLP and co LLP. So A limited and ABC and co LLP, okay, they are both coming together, okay, and they are forming a group or joint venture. It can be called association of person. Now let us come to body of individuals. Body of individual can only contain individuals. Body of individual can only contain individuals. The name itself suggests that only a group of individuals will be considered as body of individual. Now, so first difference is very clear. If there is a group of persons, okay, and if in that group you see any person other than individual, then confirm it is AOP. Then confirm it is AOP. However, if you see a group of persons which only consist of individuals, then that group of person can be AOP also, it can be BOI also. Okay, it can be AOP also and BOI also. Now how to differentiate between AOP and BOI if all the people in the group are only individuals? Okay, let us see. Now, body of individual is a group of individuals who have come merely to receive the income. Merely to receive the income, however, they do not have right over that income. But in case of AOP, they come together and join for a common purpose to produce income. Their purpose itself is to earn the income. Let me give you example. Body of individuals includes executors and trustees. Executors means what? For example, executors of a will. Okay, so for example, my grandfather has written a will, okay, and he has transferred the property to my name. Now the person who is responsible to execute the will, so who will take the responsibility to distribute the income of my grandfather to my hands, he will be considered as executor. So executor will receive the income of my grandfather and he will distribute the income to the legal heirs. Okay, so that is called executor. Trustee means what? When a trust is formed, then the people who are responsible to manage the trust are called trustees. Now, the trust receives donation. The trust receives donation, correct? Do the trustees use the donation for themselves? Answer is no. They only receive the donation, but they are not allowed to use the donation. Who uses the donation? The donation is used by the donees, the people who receive the help out of the trust. Okay, they are called donees. Hence, these executors and trustees both are example of body of individuals. Okay, if there are more than one executor or more than one trustees, then the group of them will be called body of individuals. They merely receive the income, but they cannot use the income. The income is meant for somebody else. However, in association of person, they join for a common purpose to produce the income. So, for example, co-heir is there, co-legatee, co-donee. So if there are more than one donee, donee means what? The person who is getting the help from a donation. He is called donee. If there is more than one donee, then the group of donees will be called association of person. Similarly, co-heirs and co-legatee. Now what is difference between co-heir and co-legatee? Okay. Co-heir means legal heir. First and foremost, co-heir and co-legatee means a group of legal heirs or a group of legatees. Okay. Now, if there is a will, if there is a will, okay, and because of that will only, if a person is receiving some property, then the person will be called legal heirs. Similarly, if there is no will at all, okay, then if there is no will at all, then after death, if a person receives the property of the person who has died, then they are called co-legatees. This is a general meaning. Sometimes in legal languages the meanings can change. So what is difference between co-heir and co-legatee? Both are the people who receive the property of the person of another person. Co-heirs are the people who receive because of a will, and co-legatees are the people who receive it after death. It is a general meaning. However, sometimes both are used interchangeably also. Fine. So now these are the people who actually use the income for themselves. Now let me again come back and summarize the difference between AOP and BOI. So AOP stands for Association of Persons. BOI stands for Body of Individuals. Okay. So from the name itself, you should know that if it is a group of persons which do not contain which contains more than one individual, or which contains any person other than individual also, then it will be called association of person. If a group of persons consists of any person other than individual, it will be considered as association of person for sure. Body of individual is a group of only individuals. However, is group of individual is equal to body of individual? Answer is no. A group of individual can be AOP also, can be BOI also. Then how to differentiate between AOP BOI? AOP means the persons come together and join to achieve or produce income. However, body of individual merely receive the income, but they cannot use that income. Okay, for example, executors or trustees receive the income, but they cannot use that income. They have to give it to someone else. Okay. However, when it comes to AOP, they receive the income. They can even use the income for themselves. For example, co-heirs, co-legatees, and co-donees. Okay. Now we also saw if a person is considered a partnership firm, then a firm will not be considered a AOP or BOI. Hence, partnership firm and AOP BOI are mutually exclusive from each other. You understand? Next, explanation to 231 tells that even though a group of persons has come not to earn an income, but still if it is a group of persons, it will be considered as AOP or BOI. Means it is not necessary that should be formed only for earning income. If it is for other than income also, it will be considered as AOP BOI. You get my point? So this was the definition of AOP BOI. Now let's come to the next definition, that is local authority. Okay. Local authority example, Coimbatore Municipal Corporation. I am a person from Coimbatore, so more number of Coimbatore definitions only I will be giving you. You very well know what is local authority. So local authority, example, Coimbatore Municipal Corporation. It means what? Any authority which is having the control or which is having the power to manage any municipal or local fund, then it is called municipal authority. Okay, or local authority. So there is a fund which is there for a municipality or a local area. The person who is having the power to manage those funds, okay, or control those funds will be called local authority. Fine. Now, for example, Coimbatore Municipal Corporation. In Mumbai, there is Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Similarly, for different localities, there is different local authority. Now, if a local authority is supplying anything in its own jurisdiction, then the income from that supply is not taxable under the income tax law. Okay, so if Coimbatore Municipal Corporation, okay, in its own jurisdiction, that is in the Coimbatore jurisdiction, if it is supplying anything and earning income, okay, then no income tax on such income. However, if Coimbatore Municipal Corporation, let's say it is going to Chennai or Erode or Salem or Bangalore, and there it is doing some business, supplying anything and getting some income, then such income is taxable under the Income Tax Act. Okay. However, in that also there is an exemption. What exemption? Water and electricity. Since water and electricity are necessities, okay, so Income Tax Act does not discourage any local authority to go to different places to supply water and electricity. That is why if Coimbatore Municipal Corporation is going to different districts like Erode, Salem, okay, Palakkad, etc., and it is supplying water and electricity, then on such income also there is no tax. So number one, if Coimbatore Municipal Corporation supplies in its own jurisdiction, then no tax on such income. Number two, if it supplies outside its jurisdiction, then it is taxable. However, for on water and electricity, there is no tax. Fine. Next, artificial juridical person. Now, artificial juridical person. So this is like a last type of person in which the Income Tax Act is trying to tell that if any person is left out or not covered in any other definition, then it will be considered as a person in this definition. So not falling under any other head of income. You believe it or not, even God is included in the definition of person. Hence, even God has to pay income tax under the income tax law. Okay, so Income Tax Act artificial juridical person includes idol and deity also. It so happened that when the temple was receiving the donations, okay, Income Tax Act went to tax the donations. Now the people in the temple told that the donation belongs to God and God is not included in the definition of person. Hence, Income Tax Authority is told that God is also included in the definition of artificial juridical person, and hence God also has to pay the income tax. Okay, if God is earning income. Fine. Hence, any idol or deity, okay, means any idol means statue or deity, god statue, etc. They have to pay income tax if the income is received in their name also. Similarly, universities and bar council also might not be covered in the other definitions. Hence, they are covered here. They have to pay the tax since they are artificial juridical person. Now, there comes an interesting question. There comes an interesting question. What about central government and state government? What about central government and state government? Will they be considered as artificial juridical person? Does central government has to pay income tax? Does state government has to pay income tax? Answer is no. Sir, why no? Because it is clearly given if a person is not falling under any other head, then he will be considered artificial juridical person and has to pay income tax. Central government and state government are not falling under any other head of income. That is why they should be considered as AJP. But Kanna, this is where the beauty of interpretation comes. So whenever you are reading law, law can be interpreted by what is present in the law, means whatever wordings are given that you have to read and you have to find out the meaning. However, law can also be interpreted by seeing what is not present in the law. Okay, let me give an example. This is the perfect example of central government and state government. In the Income Tax Act, local authority is specifically mentioned as a type of person. Correct? Local authority is specifically mentioned as a type of person. That is why it is considered that if they have mentioned local authority is a form of government only. Correct? If they have mentioned local authority, then they should have also mentioned central government and state government. Since they have mentioned local authority, they should have also mentioned central government and state government. But because they have not mentioned central government and state government, they have mentioned local authority only. It means purposely they are trying to exclude central government and state government from the definition of person. You get my point? Since only local authority is given, they could have easily written government. Government includes central government, state government, and local authority. But specifically, they wrote only local authority in the definition of person. It means they are deliberately trying to exclude central government and state government from the definition of person. You get my point? That is why central government and state government are not considered as person. And you know what is the reason? Very, very simple. Kanna, what is the income of the central government? Income tax. Income tax is only the income of the central government. If income tax க்கு மேல income tax வரும், or if income tax is levied on income tax, then it will be a loop. Okay, never ending loop. So central government will earn income tax. On this, central government has to pay income tax. Okay, which will be again its earnings, and again on this it should pay income tax, and it will go on and on and on. Okay, in an infinite loop. That is why central government need not pay income tax, because its income itself is income tax. You get my point? Similarly, this income tax is there, no? See, central government is not a government for a separate country. It is also a government for our country only, that is India. Okay, that is why where will the central government spend the money? It will spend the money in the states only, correct? So what happens is central government gives chunks of the income to the state governments. Okay, hence for the state government also, one of the sources of the income is income tax indirectly. Central government earns the income tax and it distributes the income tax or a percentage of the income tax to the state governments respectively. Hence, indirectly, even the state governments are earning income tax. And on this income tax, if there is income tax, then again it will result in a never-ending loop. That is why central government and state government are not included in the definition of person. You get my point? So there are 7 types of person. I hope that in detail now you are clear about what are all the different types of persons. So learn this thoroughly and you should be clear, because while answering the questions also it will be helpful for you. So with this, the first chapter, that is basic concepts, okay, as per your ICI module, comes to an end, and in our module it is the fourth chapter. The fourth chapter has come to an end. Now what I want you to do is, after finishing this chapter, for once you can go through the study material, all the concepts that I have taught you, and also watch the revision lecture of this chapter that I have put on YouTube. Most probably on my YouTube channel it will be revision lecture number 2. You can go and watch the revision lecture number 2, where I have summarized everything, so you will get it as a structure and you will not forget it at all. Okay, so I hope you are clear. So keep learning, keep revising. Take care. See you in the next video, dear. Till then, bye bye.